Today we're taking a look at all the companies that Cyril Ramaphosa owned that made him a billionaire. So President Cyril Ramaphosa is one of the country's most wealthiest individuals, making billions in the private sector before returning to politics. While Ramaphosa's exact net worth is not currently known, however, his wealth was estimated at over 6.4 billion rand in 2018. His wealth is the product of a journey that spans anti-Apartheid activism to significant business ventures, making him a key figure in South African politics and the country's business landscape. Born on the 17th of November 1952 in Soweto, Johannesburg, Cyril Ramaphosa is second of three children to his mother, Erdmuth, and his father, now retired policeman Samuel Ramaphosa. He completed his high school at Mphaphuli High School in 1971. A year later, Cyril Ramaphosa enrolled in the University of the North, Turfloop, to study law, but his growing involvement in student politics led to several detentions under the apartheid laws. He spent 11 months in solitary confinement in 1974 for organizing pro-Frelimo rallies and was arrested again during 1976 Soweto uprising. Despite these interruptions, Ramaphosa continued his legal studies through the University of South Africa, UNISA, eventually earning a Bachelor of Procurations B.Prod degree in 1981. His legal career helped him to get involved in the Council of Unions of South Africa, where in 1982 he was asked to form a union for mine workers. This led to the creation of National Union of Mine Workers, NUM, with Ramaphosa serving as its first general secretary. Ramaphosa's work with NUM solidified his prominence in the labor movement. He was instrumental in forming the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, and a broader anti-apartheid mass democratic movement. By 1991, Ramaphosa had become a leading figure in the African National Congress, the ANC, serving as its general secretary and chief negotiator during the apartheid negotiations that led to South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994. Many considered him a potential successor to Nelson Mandela, but Ramaphosa opted for the private sector after losing out to Thabo Mbeki for the presidency in 1999. In 2001, Ramaphosa founded Shanduka Group, a black economic empowerment BE investment firm. Shanduka rapidly expanded its portfolio across sections such as mining, telecommunications, energy, and real estate. Notable investments included stakes in MTN, Coca-Cola, Standard Bank, and Seacom. Under Ramaphosa's leadership, Shanduka became a model for the BEE's success and was valued at over 20 billion rand by 2014. One of Ramaphosa's most significant business deals was acquiring a 20-year-old master franchise agreement for McDonald's South Africa, overseeing the operations of over 145 restaurants. His influence extended further through board positions at companies such as Bidvest, Mondi, and SAB Miller. He also chaired MTN, one of Africa's largest telecoms providers, for over a decade. However, Ramaphosa's ventures were not limited to corporate boardrooms. He has also dabbed in agriculture, particularly Anko cattle, importing them to South Africa after a deal with Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni. His cattle business flourished through Ntabanyoni Estates and a 2024 auction at his Phalaphala farm and nearly 15 million rand in sales. Despite his success in the private sector, Ramaphosa made his political comeback in 2012, winning the position of ANC deputy president. Supported by the then Jacob Zuma, Ramaphosa returned to the government and became South Africa's deputy president in 2014. To avoid conflict of interest, Ramaphosa divested from his business holding when he became deputy president, merging Shanduka with the black-owned Phambeni Group in 2015. Although the financial details of the deal were not disclosed, it was estimated that Ramaphosa earned between 200 to 300 million US dollars from the sale. In 2017, Ramaphosa ran for the ANC presidency, eventually defeating Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Following Zuma's resignation in 2018, Ramaphosa became president of South Africa. He was re-elected in 2019 and again in 2024 after securing the support of various political parties. When Ramaphosa was elected in 2019, optimism about his presidency was widespread, even earning its own name, Ramaphoria. Ramaphosa refers to the wave of optimism, hope, and enthusiasm that swept through South Africa when Ramaphosa succeeded Zuma, who had been mired in corruption, scandals, and economic mismanagement during his presidency. Ramaphosa was seen as a reformist leader with the potential to restore confidence in South Africa's political leadership, revive the economy, and tackle corruption. His background as a successful businessman and former union leader contributed to the perception that he was uniquely positioned to address the country's challenges, including unemployment, inequality, and the economic damage that left by the Zuma's administration. However, this initial optimism gradually soon gave way to Rama reality as the difficulties of implementing reforms in a challenging political environment became more apparent. So despite his business success and initial optimism, Ramaphosa's presidency has been mired in controversy. Notably, while better than his predecessors, Ramaphosa has been criticized for his handling of South Africa's economy. Under Ramaphosa's leadership, South Africa's fiscal health has continued to deteriorate, with the government posting deficit after deficit and debt skyrocketing. Ramaphosa's most notable scandal was in 2022, theft of $580 from his Phala farm. Allegations of a cover-up were made by former spy chief Arthur Fraser, leading to calls for investigations. However, Ramaphosa was cleared of breaching ethical guidelines, and the Reserve Bank cleared him of allegations that he contravened exchange control regulations. As of 2024, Ramaphosa earns an annual salary of around 4.2 million rand, which has been previously donated to charity. Ramaphosa's political image took a turn last year in 2024 following the national elections in May. He was instrumental in the establishment of Government of National Unity, the GNU. The GNU has been in power for a few months, and the coalition's effectiveness over the long term is still yet to be seen. However, the formation of the GNU has been widely celebrated and is already implementing reforms that could see South Africa's fortunes change. While steeped in controversy, it is undeniable that Ramaphosa has had a marked influence in South Africa's political and economic sphere. His journey from Soweto to the presidency encapsulates his role as South Africa's most influential and wealthy figure. So the companies that Cyril Ramaphosa owned. So below is an overview of all the companies in the Shanduka portfolio before it emerged with Phambeni. Ramaphosa's amassed his billions through black empowerment deals and business interests in numerous top companies. Before leaving business for politics in 2014, he served over a decade as MTN chairman and 9 years as Bidvest chairman. He was also a non-executive director at Alexander Forbes, Max Steel, SAB Miller, and Standard Bank. His biggest wealth creator was the managed investment company Shanduka Group. The company quickly established itself as a groundbreaking black economic empowerment firm. As the executive chairman of the Shanduka Group, Ramaphosa helped to facilitate investments in the minerals, resources, energy, real estate, banking, insurance, and telecoms. Leveraging his experience in the trade union and labor world, which helped hone his skill as a deal maker, was key to Ramaphosa's success. A major movement for the firm came in 2011 when McDonald's announced Ramaphosa as the new developmental licensee for South Africa, making him responsible for operating all its branches in the country. Ramaphosa started winding down his business interests shortly after being elected deputy ANC president towards the end of 2012. These companies include many of South Africa's top businesses, including MTN, Coca-Cola, Standard Bank, Alexander Forbes, Liberty Group, and Bidverse. Ramaphosa's financial interests also recorded in Parliament's Register of the Members' Interest in 2017. Ramaphosa has not been included in this register since, as 2017 was the last year he formed part of the legislative rather than the executive of armed government and was required to disclose his interests.